and we will open our meeting with Vice Chair, Mr. Milkowski, reading the pledge.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call?
Andrea Ring,
Here.
Gil Gordian,
Present.
Rose Glazer has asked for an excused absence. James Clifton.
Here.
Miss Lucier has asked for an excused absence. Vicki Tunker.
Here.
And Bob Progolski.
Here.
Thank you.
Are there any agenda modifications? All right. I would like to have the approval of the meeting minutes for March 7th.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the minutes of March 7th as presented.
A second? And Jim second? All, take a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. And we have unfinished business. We have Earth Day that we need to talk about. And Rose is not here because she's in New Mexico. So we will read her statement from Rose, go over her statement now.
If you like, I can go through each of the items. Just to highlight again, Rose sent me an email because she'll be out today, and so I printed out the email and made it into a bullet item. So based on that, I'll just go down the list. Basically, she was asking regarding, number one, the budget and the additions to do the additional items that she requested on 1, 2, and kind of like the different items. Mainly, it was to get the paint for the rocking, for the rocks, and then also for the thank you letters. Due to, because I don't know where the target is in terms of where we sit with the current budget, because I know we've been purchasing, so I don't know the exact cost accounting you could say of where we are to the penny. I went and talked to the finance director. I went and talked to the city manager. If by accident we do have to go over slightly by a couple $100, he's okay with that. He says we could transfer the funds. So if there's an issue regarding we may not have the funds to do these last minute items, I think we're okay. So I wasn't really sure if the board approved these items, but it sounds like from what I'm hearing from our city manager and our finance, it's okay financially if we go over our budget. Not a lot, but to go over slightly to cover these items. So I already checked with the city manager. He said it's okay. So if you like, you can make a motion. If we haven't done so, I couldn't find it. If you guys want to approve these items, so that way Rose or Ann can then continue to purchase whatever they need to purchase to keep moving forward. So that'll be the first, covers like 1 and 2 items. So if you want to deal with that or move on, or it's up to you, Chair.
I'll make a motion to approve items 1 and 2, given that funding does become available.
I will second.
Just a question, 1 and 2, I'm sorry, Jim, I just want to make sure what you're talking about with 1 and 2. You're talking about 1 and 2 on the email that Mr. Watanabe's on top of? Yes. Because in
12 items.
It's kind of mixed up. It's actually 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's really what she's talking about is the thank you letters and the acrylic paint to paint the rocks. I'm assuming we have lots of rocks, but that's what you really need to have for those 2 additional items or functions. So what she wants to do is she wants to buy the thank you invitation letters or thank you letters that we gave out last year, and also she wants to buy the acrylic paint to paint the rocks because she thought that she could do these rock paintings and then hide them later like Easter eggs, so it'd be another activity. I'm just reading that out of her email, and so I think I wasn't sure if that was approved at the previous board meeting, which I don't think it was.
No,
I think you need to make a motion to approve the funds, and if it's over their $1,000 budget, we're okay because I've got the okay from the city manager to go over slightly. I don't think it's going to go over $200 more than to buy paint and thank you notes. So
Now, would you like us to do that? Would you like us to do a voice vote on each
No, I
individual
think-
one,
I-
or
I
just
think
go
you-
through all 12 and say,
It's up to you how you want to do. I think some of these may not require a vote. This is just information. I think the first two
Yeah,
require,
the rest of them appear to be just informational.
yeah, these two items
Updating.
require funding disbursements, so I think the board as a whole has to approve it, not individually. That's why Rose sent me the email saying, you got to get approval, because she herself, I myself cannot approve your budget. It's a vote of the commission.
And, excuse me, so I was looking at, actually in the packet, under the 2017 Sebastian Earth Day celebration plans, the second page has a budget, and that's why I'm a little confusing, because somebody said 12, there's actually 12 items there in the budget, I believe, that we haven't approved. I counted 12, I wasn't sure if what we've approved and what we haven't. And I'm supportive of all the items, I just want to make sure we're clear on what we're.
I just know we're getting close. We're not there at 0, but we're like 3. We don't have a lot to spare. Because again, it's a moving target. I don't know what was been spent overall, but I know Rose had a detailed breakdown, but we were getting close to that threshold. Because, just with the last approval, remember we were buying for the tortoise burrow kits and stuff, materials, and Home Depot thankfully stepped up and says we'll donate, just like Walmart did. Those help us out. I'm not really sure where that budget is. I don't think you have a lot, and that's why I went and got the approval from city manager. So if we go over slightly, we're covered.
So I'm fine with Mr. Clifton's motion, I just want to make sure I was clear and understood what he was asking, that's all.
okay, my question then would be, even though they're informational down here, do we still have to ask the board to approve, like for the K-9 unit and then the
No,
officer
I
for
think
the
those are just
police?
informational items.
That's already been done, and the officer for the,
I think you're just making a motion, really, you're just making a motion for the purchases of those 2 items. And the rest of the stuff we can just go through, unless you want me, if you've already read it. They're just informational items that Rose gave to me that I thought maybe I should pass on to the commission in case you haven't read it, that she's done a lot of work on these items, like the canine dogs and the bike. We got the bike here. So a lot of these items are already completed.
So Mr. Clifton, your motion was for items 1 and 2, or?
Yes.
Okay.
On the memo, April 4, 2017 memo, from Frank to Rose.
And I've already seconded that.
Right, we've had discussion, so.
I think we'll need a vote because it's money, so we need to roll call.
Chairman Ring,
Yes?
Mr. Gordian,
Yes.
Ms. Glazer, Mr. Clifton,
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
and Ms. Tunker,
Yes,
and Vice Chairman Pergolski.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Okay.
And then I'll continue on. The rest of the items really starts from 4. Number 5 was Chief Morris approved the K-9 unit we've been talking about. So they'll be there, and they may have more than one dog. The second item comes also from number 6 is from Chief Morris, is regarding the volunteer at the crosswalk. She will have one of her reserve volunteers there to help provide safe crossings at the crosswalks, so that's great. Item number 7 talks about a new musician. Georgina Randall is another musician she's added on. I believe there was one that dropped off, so I believe she's gotten enough now that she has the whole day scheduled out. And later on, I'll show you, she sent me an email, and it's in your packet too, that has the times of all the events and all the people. So I think she's pretty much squared off all the entertainment and what's required during the events. So that's number 7. Number 8 was regarding this Indian River by Air is going to be bringing their power parachute, so that's great. Number 9 regarding Tony's gyros for another food vendor, which is good. So then number 10 kind of highlights all the different vendors you guys have. And then number 11 was Sebastian Smiles Pediatric Dentistry signed up today also, so she has another vendor. And then finally was the Walmart item, which Jim and I went to Walmart and picked up. I do want to just go on record that Walmart donated this bike to the NRB for the Earth Day event. Walmart has stepped up every time. I think they do a great job for the community. This is their community effort. They sponsor a majority of events for the city, and I do want to highly just emphasize Walmart stepping up and helping us out, as well as Home Depot.
That is a nice bicycle. Thank you. And Home Depot donated all the money donated all supplies for the borough
Yeah,
to
so
be
those,
built.
those are the two big sponsors, not sponsors, but donors.
That was
and-
over $200, Ann told me.
So, and then if you go to your handouts, what I've done is to help you guys out, that was on the vendors list that was handed out in the brochure that was given out to the agendas. It was already handed out, passed out at several meetings. I modified it to make it look like a poster board. The poster board's sitting right here, already generated, so you can see what it'll look like. So we could have several of these around the events that thanks all the vendors or the exhibitors, and especially thanks Walmart and Home Depot. I think they get a special thanks to that. In addition to this, the exhibitors, I made the same kind of format for the exhibits, so you can have the same kind of board that tells you, kind of like in a schedule of events. So if you're there walking around, you know at 9 o'clock you have opening ceremonies, and Bob, you are going to be there to open it up. Our mayor will be there, and our vice mayor will be there, and maybe some other council persons. And then it goes on with the rest of the schedule. I think Rose has done an excellent job of making sure there's something going on throughout the entire day. And at the end of the event, you have your bike giveaway, which I think ties it up. So I think she did a great job. I think these would be boards that we could put up on easels like this throughout the event so people could see what's going on. And that'll just help out making sure everybody is knowledgeable what's going on during the day. So with that, I just want to pass that out. This is what Rose gave me, so I just put it on boards and stuff.
How many boards are we gonna have?
I'll try to make 3 of them on easels so that we could have them around the park. You know, this size, 24 by 36.
Okay.
We print these here in-house, so we just do it all in-house.
Thank you, that looks nice, thank you. Okay,
Madam Chair, I have a question. Did we settle on times? Who's going to participate? Did we do that yet?
I think he's talking about the booth.
Assigned times for us.
Right, the
okay,
assignments.
assigned times for us. I really would like to ask everybody to be there all day. I hate to do that, but we're doing a lot this year. We need the gopher, tortoise, burrow covered. We need the scavenger hunt being given out, and we need all the donations. And so I just think we need everybody there all day. Is that going to be too much for anybody?
It's not too much, but it's not going to be a possibility. I have another engagement. I will be there until 12:30.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
So at least half I will be there.
okay. Ann will be there all day. Rose said she'll be there all day.
I'm going to be there all day.
Okay, Jim? Gil, okay, because we'll need Ann's help with the Gopher Burrow and just, yeah, if we're all there, I think we'll be able to spell each other. Thank you. So, okay, we done on times.
One question. Frank, do the mayor or vice mayor, would they like any talking points about Earth Day, or are they just going to be talking extemporaneously about, what's your feeling?
I think they're just gonna just thank you, the commission, and
Okay.
thank the community for showing up for Earth Day. I can't speak on what they're gonna say. I think they have their standard speech they like to talk about, for the community, for this commission, for all the hard work, and I think just basically be there just to help you guys just open up the ceremonies.
All right, thank you.
I'm not sure what's on their talking. I can't speak for them.
But, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure, because I know it's only a short time anyway. It's just, it's a welcome, and I just want to make sure we have that late. Okay, thank you.
Are they going to read the proclamation again?
I think he's going to highlight on it. I'm not sure if he's going to read exactly, but he's going to just note that there was a proclamation for the Tortoise Day. So I think he's going to bring that up to make sure that's brought to the Earth Day event. I'm not sure if he's going to read it verbatim, but I
On
think
this,
he'll
it
bring it
says
up.
Tortoise Proclamation.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if he just talks about it. It says that, the council already approved and adopted that date at the previous council meeting, so he may just say it that way. I don't know. I can't speak for him.
Right, and we only have half an hour. It's from 9 to 9:30 with the pledge and everything else. Yeah, we don't want, that's going to be pretty tight, so.
Okay.
There may be one more council person showing up, so if he's take, let's say 5 minutes for each, they could take up 15 minutes. So I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
Okay, we should get there early, about, I don't know, what time did Rose want us there, about 8?
I have no idea.
Rose wanted us there about 8, I think, no
Yeah,
later than
7:30, 8
8?
o'clock is when you usually
That's
get there.
fine.
Okay.
We have to meet the vendors there and give them their assignments.
Yes. Well, I'll get there even earlier because if I'm collecting some of those donations that they give us to auction off, well, give away, I'll be there early to collect them. So it's whenever she told the vendors to be there, that's when we need to be there. Okay.
I will, just to help out, to clarify, I will email Rose and get a clear schedule from her, not on the commission, but on the exhibitors and when they're going to be there, so that way everybody is up to speed to knows when you guys should be there. So I'll email her and let her know what was your, schedule with the vendors, so then that way we have a clear, they're going to be there at 7 o'clock to set up, be ready by 9 o'clock and shut down by 3 o'clock. I'll get that from her, so that way we all have the same information.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on Earth Day?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. On the chalk art, with Jody doing that, it's kind of a different color here. It says that they're looking for prizes. Have they found the prizes that they're looking for? Or is that still open?
I have not heard on that item.
Okay. And then the other thing is on the pine cone bird feeders. It says that Ann needs inexpensive peanut butter and seeds. Is she still in need of that?
Yes.
Again, I've seen the same emails, but I did not see a response back or.
Because I have a bag of seed out in my car right now that, it's $5 at Walmart. I can always go get another one. It's not a big deal.
I will email her after this, because I have these, and see where we are. If they're still open-ended, then I think I'll email everybody saying we're still open-ended, so bring what you have to bring. If they've been addressed, then I'll let you know we're good to go.
Yeah, because as long as I know, I can bring some of those items.
And what about all the brochures we asked for and the coloring books? Did we get them? Did we get our?
The coloring books, I believe we have our clerk's office is putting some of those coloring books together, so we'll have coloring books. I'm not sure how many, but we're going to have some available there at the event. On the brochures, I'll make sure I'll print off another 100 like we had before, which you guys had on Earth Day, so I'll print out another 100 so that you guys could hand out for that day. I didn't change that brochure because typically once you release a brochure that's already been published, you don't want to change it because then people get confused which is the correct one. So that's why I highly recommend for any changes like to the vendors, you put them on special boards. That agenda document pamphlet was already released, and the mayor and everybody's seen it. I would hate to then change it again, and then people won't know which is the correct one because there's no date on them. So I would keep those, and they're still valid. Everything on there is still valid. We just have more detailed information on some of the exhibitors and on some of the performers. We put them on these boards now. And I think that's fair enough to who's there, that they're recognized on these boards.
Okay, but that captain's coloring book, those kids eat those coloring books up that they get from the Wildlife and Fish, right?
I think some of those are from what I saw, most of the ones now that used to be given out as pamphlet booklets, like from Fish and Wildlife and St. John's, they're all online now. They don't publish those books anymore. Everything's online. It's just the way it is. I think we're in the process of combining and making of our own by printing them out. But like before, where we asked St. John's for brochures, their answer is it's all online now. They want you to print it out yourself. They're not publishing any of these documents anymore. Most of the agencies are going electronic. So it's
but
difficult.
it's the coloring books that, because
It's the
when we
same-
were there on the March 18th, they went quickly. What coloring books were they? Gil brought them.
They're from Fish and Wildlife.
The Fish and Wildlife, they went. Everybody was grabbing those coloring books.
Again, I've contacted all of them. Most of them says they're online, so they don't publish them anymore. In the past they did. They don't.
Even, where did you get your coloring
Well,
books?
that was
then?
from the last Earth Day event. I went up to St. John's River.
Okay. So we can't even
So
get
I'm not
coloring
sure what
books
that
anymore?
situation is.
Okay, because the kids really like them. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. On to B, which is the Gopher Tortoise Build-A-Burrow. And Ann's is sick, so she does have the materials. Home Depot did donate the money, donated the materials. Does anybody have a, I don't know if she's built it yet or not. But,
I'm
she's,
sure she'll have it built by the 22nd.
yeah, I'm sure too. Any other questions? And she did get the animals. I know, she said she's got the animals. Any other questions? On to C, the calendar of events. The Pelican Island event update. I was there. I was very disappointed that we did not have our tent or table.
Again, I take the responsibility, I apologize. I had a staff person who left me, and in that process, I think it fell off the table, so I apologize for that. However, for this next event, I make sure our public works staff have already been aware that the 2 tables and the chairs and the booths and everything are set up. But my suggestion is more and more, again, I'm going to pass on to this commission, like we have other commissions, like the banner and stuff. I think the commission should take on the ownership of these pieces of materials. It's more and more difficult for us to house all this stuff, and then by accident, if we don't show up, because it's not really one of our items to be there, that it just got forgotten. Or another issue is more and more, the day before, email the city and say, are we all still good to go with these items? Because again, I apologize and take responsibility, but just like you guys, I have all these other tasks, and I was here Saturday. If someone would have said, hey, Frank, grab the tent, I would have thrown it back in my truck, or I would have called Bob and said, Bob, come back here and grab it. Or if I wasn't here, I would call one of my staff and say, hey, go, it's upstairs, go get it. I wasn't aware either until afterwards when Bub or someone told me, hey, we forgot about the booth. So again, I apologize, I take on the responsibility, but I think in the future, I would highly recommend that the commission houses and maintains those items. And not this, a good example was all the materials we had here for a long time. Some things started disappearing, like the banner. I think ownership should go with the commission, so I think the commission should hang on to these. They're your products. They're city documents, but I think the commission should hang on to them.
Except when you got a turnaround, because when people are on the board and then their time's up and then they leave and they have everything's in their, garage full of all the board stuff. I don't know. I just don't know. I would rather it not be us, but you all feel that it should be. I don't know. What
Is
do
there
you
a
all think?
storage area where all of this stuff is maintained, or
No, we don't.
just kind of a hodgepodge of here and there?
We have it in different offices, and it depends, just like what the chair is asking for. We have different staff, and staff leaves, it sits there, and that's where, as a department head, I'm not aware sometimes where those things are, like the banner. I thought it was downstairs, and next thing you know, it was gone. And our best understanding maybe is the janitor tossed it out, and because I don't go down to that room every day, that kind of stuff happens. And so we don't have, this city does not have a lot of area for storage. It's very limited in storage space. And the majority of the city's offices and facilities are used for city functions. So, and this is a function too, but I'm just saying, it's pushing it when we start storing things, and next thing you know, we forget or we lose stuff. I hate to see it get lost. I think when you have ownership on something, it doesn't get lost. And I think if the person decides to move on, not be a commissioner, I think that person's going to take it upon himself to say, here's what I have that just belongs to the city. It's still city property. So if the person decides to not give it back to the city, that's not good, because it belongs to the city. It's not really yours, not mine. It belongs to the city of Sebastian. It's the city property.
Well, where it is right now, could we not rope it off or whatever and say property of NRB? And we would be responsible for going after it and returning it.
It's in a locked room right now upstairs in the spare room. We have all our plans, and we don't let people in there because it's got as-built plans that we don't want people to take or even damage.
Okay, well then under supervision, I personally would not want to have the tent and tables and chairs. I have nowhere to put that. I have enough stuff of my own.
I just threw it out there, so, I mean, if the answer is we'll just house it, we'll house it. I'm just saying, to avoid what happened the last time, it's better like the banner, and it's not the tables and chairs, it's just the tent. The tent folds up in a little kit, that's all it is. That's
The
all.
tent and a banner.
Yeah, the tent
Well,
and
the banner Ann has.
Yeah.
Ann has. And I think I understand now, because even though it's in that closet that's locked, anybody who is could get in there and they could borrow it. And the staff wouldn't know that they borrowed it and then they just forget to return it. I see now where you're saying that things get lost or borrowed.
And again, at the same time, it's for NRB, but at any time the city wants to use those booths, it's a city property. Even though it was purchased for your use, if all of a sudden decide upon higher up, or if a director wants to use those booths for a city function, I think it's appropriate because it's city property.
Well, then he'll have to come to one of our houses to get it, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. If it's not here, then it's already, you see what I'm saying? If you guys house it, we can't make that, you know what I'm saying? Possession is always more powerful, like anything. So if you have possession, you have more ownership of it. But if it's sitting upstairs in one of our, and they decide we want to use it, then next thing you know, they make a commitment to use it, and then we have a need for it, and it's already been, you could say, looked upon to be used. I can see that issue coming up too.
Well, then I think we should check with Ann, because I think the banner and the tent should be together. That way, it's not a helter-skelter of where's this, where's that.
Can I recommend that we just table it till
Yeah.
next meeting, and I think we'll discuss
Definitely.
it? I'd be happy to store them if we need to, if it's the tent and the banner, but we'll see what Ann wants to do. In the next meeting, then we'll figure it out.
Okay, all right, we'll put it on next meeting. We'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Okay, April, the Earth Day event, B. Have we, anything else we need to discuss on that?
I think we beat it.
I think we did it, huh? All right, on C, May, we need to discuss any items we want to add for May. If this is our calendar, okay.
Do we have anything scheduled for May already, or?
No, and I was wondering when May's curb was doing their cleanup. I have no idea. And should we do something as a board other than our meeting in May? No. Well, we'll discuss that next meeting too, okay? Put that on next agenda. And I'm up to new business. Item A, discussion of the Indian River Lagoon Clam Project.
Yeah, per your discussion at the last meeting to place an update, I contacted the Boy Scout. I've got his name, I apologize, Paul, I think. And I finally got an email. There's some emails back and forth. It seems like they, maybe the email fell off, but I did get a response back. They have been monitoring the oysters, and they said that it looks like there is growth on the oyster bags. And they say there are also growth of seagrass in the area, so it's looking positive. So they are monitoring it, and they say it's moving forward. In the near future, he would like to give you a presentation. He wants to go out and take photographs and do a more formal presentation. But they emailed me basically saying they are monitoring the bags, and there appears to be growth. So in the near future, he would like to give a presentation at one of the near commission meetings as an update.
Okay. Thank you. I think that was number 9. New business, clams. We discussed Dr. Jacoby was here, and he mentioned clams, doing clams. Number 7.
I think that's your item. I wasn't prepared to respond to any item on clams. Remember, you guys wanted to talk about it, and we couldn't do it because it wasn't on the agenda, so I placed it on as agenda for your discussion.
It's number 7.
But he's saying last time it wasn't on the agenda.
Pardon?
When y'all were discussing it last month, I guess it wasn't on the agenda, so that's why it's...
That's right,
That's
yeah.
right.
I asked you to put it on this month,
So
right,
it's for your discussion.
for our discussion. I don't know. I mean, they say that the lagoon isn't salty enough maybe for clams, and I don't know if you all had discussed clams before. Has you in the board discussed using clams versus oysters?
No, we hadn't. We didn't know if it was feasible on our side of the river, because basically oysters were thriving on our side of the river, on the west side, and the clams are usually producing on the other side, on the east side.
And he was saying that we have enough oysters and that we really should be looking to do a diversity, and that's why he was suggesting clams.
Well, we would probably need to,
Yeah, I believe he said that there was a salinity issue, that, as you said, it may not be salty enough for clams, but it was for oysters, so that was my understanding.
Didn't we used to have a clam out by that sandbar? Wasn't there clams at one time out there?
not that I know of.
No?
I wouldn't hear.
Oh, yeah, me either, I wasn't.
Again, keep in mind, we're confined to the city limits, which is pretty brackish water. So,
Okay. Okay, then I guess we won't be doing the lagoon clams. Okay. Public input? Would anybody like to come say something? Okay, no public input. All right, staff matters. Oysters, thank you.
Again, I apologize. When you asked me, I thought we were at that point, so I overjumped the new items. But I gave you an update on the Boy Scouts. So this first one. The second item, I actually have three. So the last one came at the last minute. But I want to go over the second item B, which is the poster boards, which I also talked about. One sitting right here. And I'll print out both this one that has exhibitors as well as the schedule that Rose sent us, that you have the small versions in your packets. We'll create poster boards and we'll have them displayed there at the event. So that way, in case the ones that we missed that was on the handout brochure that had them all listed, I think Ann's added a few more, and Rose have added a few more. We'll make sure all the exhibitors are then recognized. And the last one was, again, we know for sure now that Walmart did step up and provide us with their gift. So again, we want to make sure they're recognized. So that's what I have for the number B. Number C, if you don't mind adding, if I have, and it could be under my matters too, but we did receive a letter from what they call Friends of Indian River Lagoon. It's a neighborhood association that supports the neighborhood lagoons. They've asked, they sent a letter which I want to ask to place on your agenda for your review and discussion, since it was late when I received it. It was actually today. It was no way to get it on the agenda because it came in late. I'm going to ask to place it on the agenda for the next meeting. I just want to give you a heads up. This is the Friends of Indian River Lagoon. They want you to look into this North County Hub. If you're not aware, the North County Hub has a transfer point out there behind the Burger King, out there off of Dryden Road. It's a transfer hub, is where 4 buses meet together to transfer patrons, and then the 4 buses disperse on an hourly basis. So it's not a bus terminal, it's just a hub where they all meet and transfer back and forth. It was a temporary location because it's right there on the road, and there's been a lot of discussion to make it a more permanent location, which should be, because a lot of the issues was ADA and other concerns. So they've been looking, the MPO looked at it, and they looked at different sites. And I think their consultant came up with the preferred site, which is the conservation land on that corner. And that's where this ties into you guys, I think. That corner property right there, right next to the gas station, is a Sunoco that goes into, I think it's Waverlet, that road. It goes back there into Fisher Lake. That corner property is conservation land that was bought by the county. It was bought by the parks, and it belongs to the conservation. They want to make that transit hub. Not a bus terminal, but a transit hub. Basically, it would be like a park and ride lot, where you have room for parking, room for the bus to pull in and out, and maybe even a future bathroom, but just a transfer hub location that also tie in the North County Trail, which is back there. It's already back there. There's a North County Trail that goes from, eventually it'll go from Fellsmere across I-95, then about overpass, all the way down the path that's already there. It goes behind this, and goes in front of goes in front of the middle school, then goes behind those homes. There's a trail that connects all the way back down through here. That trail already exists, except for the overcrossing at I-95. So there's a trailhead that could tie into the trail system, you could tie into the transit system, you can maybe have some park and ride, a few parking spaces so people could park. There's the canoe drop and the kayak launch back there. This could all be tied into kind of like a recreational, like a parking area. In conservation lands, like any historical conservation land, you are allowed to build facilities to let people come to it. You can't just put a bubble around and say, here's a conservancy and, that's it. The reason why it's there is for people to go and look at it and use it. And I think the rules, the MPO says you can build like that kind of a parking amenity, not a bus depot, and not something that's going to be used, that's not part of that conservancy, but they said you can make it so you can have accessibility, public accessibility. That's where they're going with it. I think the community has issues. I can't speak, I haven't even looked at the letter. I'm just saying, these are the facts. And they sent the letter, they want you to look at it. I'm gonna place it on your agenda. However, it's a very top issue for this council. And I know for a fact, because I went to the MPO board meeting, and to the fact that MPO board representative all supported that site. It has not yet gone to the MPO board as a final determination. I know this because I represent the city's technical advisory committee. As a city engineer, I sit on the board, and the technical people reviewed it, I believe, last week and approved that site. So the technical people read the report and approved that site. This organization now is coming up by saying that it's not an appropriate site, and we feel it has some environmental issues, and that's where you guys are getting brought in as a picture. Whether that, I'm just gonna put it on the agenda, I'm just talking about it. If you're on your agenda, we can't talk about it now, I'm just giving you information about it so you're educated, but I'm just letting you know it's a very sensitive issue on both sides.
But it has not been approved yet.
Has not been approved. We really can't be talking about it because it's not on the agenda. I'm just giving you the history behind it so that way you have some knowledge. So when you get the information, when we talk about it next time, you have a little bit more information, because I think it's the more information you know, the better you're prepared. If and when we place it on the agenda, and we talk about it on the back and forth, you'll have some better ideas. I just want to give you some information, that's all.
When it's put on the agenda next time, could we have a map that could help us?
I'm going to have the actual report with it. I'll have the entire report that was given to the MPO TAC, that was going to be given to the MPO board. See, the reason why I'm telling you this is because the MPO board meets April 12th for final determinations. So that window, we're April 4th, so next week they're going to approve it. So when I place this on your agenda next meeting, it's passed. That's why I just want to kind of bring it on the table here. I wasn't going to do it, but because it's going to go in front of the MPO board next week for approval, I can't change those timeframes.
Okay, but
Could
if
we
it's
have
going
this-
for an approval, then what are they looking to us for? If you're under the impression that it's going to be approved on April the 12th?
I'm just stating
Horse
that.
is out of the barn.
I got a, no, but again, I got a letter, we received the letter, and instead of me just saying I'm just gonna place it on the agenda next time, I'm just educating you. It's just being fair. I received the letter, it's like anything, just bringing it out. I know of a letter, I didn't even read the letter, but I know what the intent is, because I can see where this is headed. I wanted to educate you as a board. We can't act on it because it was too late to stick in the agenda. However, because it's already on a path, it's set to go to the MPO board on April 12th for their determination. Whether they approve it, eject it, that's up to those elected officials. I just know last week as a technical advisor commission, I approved it from a technical merit, purely from a technical merit, like the other city engineers, the other planners, the other technical people all said, good information, good facts, from a technical level, beats the mustard.
If we can get the information, why can't we call a special meeting
Again,
prior
I'm saying-
to April 12th or whatever the date is?
It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys whether you want it, that kind of stuff, I have to still talk to the city manager and stuff. Again, it's got to be placed on your agenda for even acting on it. You can't even act on it. I'm just giving you the heads up information, that's all.
But if it's passed, what will there be to act on?
Nothing.
Thank you, that's my point.
You as an individual have knowledge now, just like I had knowledge of the letter. I can't reject that letter once it was given to me. I'm
Okay,
just
well, we have
passing it.
knowledge of it, but I don't know what good it would do to do an agenda item for something that's already passed.
And can I point out something else? This is not city land, this is county land. It's not on city property at all. It's all on
It
county
is, but
property.
it's in that area where all, the city of Ellesmere, the county, and the city of Sebastian all fronted. It's on a corner that belongs to the county, but you're in the city of Sebastian's, city limits. You're in the sphere.
Well, it
Even
sounds like
though-
it's at that intersection of 510, 512.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not,
Western side,
yeah.
which the city doesn't own, it's all county. It's behind the gas station and the,
We have
And-
pockets, we have small pockets. We're not like Vero Beach. We have very small pockets. We do have sections of the county within the city, 100% surrounded by the city, pockets that belongs to the county that just never got, the person didn't want to incorporate into the city. That happens. That little section up there, that little pie, even though, the county road is not ours, but, we go all the way out pretty much till the middle school. The storage and the auto zone that just got built, that's all in the city of Sebastian. On the other
And
side,
the canoe.
the shopping center over there, Publix, that's all in the city of Sebastian.
Yeah. So it's on the side, though, where Fisher Island is?
Exactly.
Okay.
And Fisher Island's in the city of Sebastian. Just that little corner is not.
So question, if we got the information, then we could attend this meeting? Would they have a public forum opportunity?
I just pass it on, so if you really had an interest, you could go up to the MPO, go on there, just like your agendas, pull up the agendas, pull up the documents, review it, and if you want to take it upon yourself as individuals, or, just see what's going on, I'm just passing on because I saw the letter. I could have just waited till the next meeting, and it would just been like you're saying, well, this is kind of stupid because we're getting it after the fact. I just wanted to make sure and just making you aware of it, that's
Okay,
all.
well, I'm just letting you know ahead of time, I think it's kind of stupid then. If it's already a past deal, it's like, okay.
Can I ask a point of, and you may not be able to answer this because you said it is not on our agenda, so I'm not asking for a decision, but just a point of information is, so that land is not encumbered by any legal easement or anything that requires it to remain in conservation land? Is that correct?
I don't understand the question.
It would stay conservation.
But if you put a parking lot on it, it's no longer, that's what I'm confused a little bit. So the proposed hub, we'll call it a hub, you mentioned there would be some parking spots and things, obviously would have to be paved or rocked or whatever, so it would destroy the natural habitat there.
Again, so you need to know more, so there's section of the Conservancy that it's got it's not all, you know what I'm saying? Even though you have an area that say is Conservancy or parkland, it's not 100% perfect. There's anomalies in that area that it has peppers and stuff that needs to be torn out, and those are the areas that says, it could be easily spaced to put in a facility to provide connectivity. And
Okay.
again, I hate to use the word, you're gonna put in some sort of a structure in an area which is considered to be parkland, but, to have those kind of facilities, you wanna have connectivity, so people can walk, or park, not 100 cars, but enough so they can get back there and enjoy the amenities. And that's why in most of those conservancies and national parks and historical parks, they allow you to put in accessibility points. That makes common sense, because it was meant to be shared with all the communities, and if you can't get to it, it doesn't really do any good. I mean, I understand that concept where, you don't want to destroy like Yosemite, most of you gotta walk to it, but they try to provide you some connectivity so as close as you can, you get to the source, then you have to walk the rest of it, but they provide that kind of connectivity. That's what the county MPO planner and people at the technical committee are saying, you can't do this because that's sort of educating me as a non-planner. They said, that makes sense. That makes all the sense in the world, and it had all the benefits at that location, so it makes all the sense in the world. I'm just telling you from the technical standpoint, that's what that's what the technical committee voted on. Again, I'm just passing on this information here because it's just information. And like Vicky's saying, maybe it's a moot point because by the time, if I do place this, I have to place it because it was requested.
Yeah.
It's going to be, well, that's passed.
I'm just trying to figure out why they don't do it down at the pool area.
By the pool area
Where there's
where
already parking, there's already bathrooms.
it's already cultivated.
There's
yeah.
accessibility.
Again, so we're talking about, I don't want to get into it anymore.
Oh, I know,
You know,
that was the
Yeah.
first thought I had was, why don't they do it down there? But that's just my thought process.
Okay.
Sorry about, I just wanted to just educate you that there's going to be a place on
It's
your
already
agenda.
cleared.
Well, thanks for the heads up.
Well, that's where the concern is for the Indian River Lagoon folks. That's their concern, is that corner.
So again, I just want to just make you aware of it, and so you could, at the next meeting, you
Can't
can
wait
say
to see how many reps
exactly.
we have.
And if you want, you all could go down April 12th, and it's down at the county offices, is it not?
That's correct.
So you personally, if you want to go down and talk about it, you can, but we can't take an action as a board. Okay. Thank you. All right. Can I, Ms. Williams, should I ask you if you have anything to say? Thank you. Okay, member matters. Vicki?
None.
I would just like to mention one thing. As part of the kind of the oyster restoration, Pelican Island National Wildlife Refuge installed, I think it was on February 22nd, installed a large number of oyster bags around the original Pelican Island itself. It was part of a grant program that they did, because I know a number of the folks that I work with participated in. It was several hundred bags of oysters that they planted, or well, I say planted, put in to protect that island, and they're trying to do the same thing we did with the Boy Scout project and other things. So there's a number of groups that see the utility of that and the stability for the lagoon. That's all. Thank you.
Jim? Gail?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
Just one thing, I did, we had somebody wanting to do Italian ice, but we already had enough vendors, so I did call this person back and told them, sorry, because if they're in the park, we only have 5 spaces, am I correct?
I don't know.
Not necessarily,
I don't
I'm
know
sorry.
about that. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
We should be able to welcome any vendor that would like to come in. It was the bigger the better, and I don't see a problem with that.
Oh, well, he was doing Italian ice, and I didn't, I thought we were not supposed to duplicate. We were trying to help the vendors that are there, you know, and we already had somebody come do Italian ice. So I couldn't see 2 Italian ices, and so blame me. I told him he couldn't come.
Well, Chair, can I speak? I think Rose has done a great job, like she did last year. I think she's got a commitment of a good number of exhibitors, I think way more than in the past. So I think you're fine. And I think Gil is correct. I think always more is better, and you should never, try to limit it. But I think in this situation, I think you're fine with the number of exhibitors you have. And since you already have an Italian ice cream vendors already listed on there, I think you're good to go. And going back to Gil's thing, is in the future, I think it's always good to have more is better. But for this event, I think you're good to go.
Okay. Any other member matters? Items for next agenda? We're going to do the tent, and who's going to
How's it?
have, okay, what else are we going to do? I said something else too.
Well, you'll probably have a wrap-up too of the event.
The what?
The Earth Day, wrap-up of Earth Day.
Wrap up a birthday, okay, and you're gonna put your letter on there for us to discuss?
Correct. It was not my letter, but the letter from the Friends of Indian River Lagoon.
Okay. And I said one more thing, and I can't remember. Okay. If there is nothing else, then I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.